Welcome, everyone. This is Margaret Claire Jacobs, and this is the February newsletter that now is on video and will be sent out as a written transcript as well. I've been channeling messages of the mothers for close to 30 years, and during this time, it becomes clear that how much we are truly working our way into that for the purpose of which we came. That this time is truly significant in our ability to remember who we are and to do our actions, our day-to-day lives in this sense of projecting love, no matter what is happening. And in that matter, to know where we are called to be, when we are called to perhaps stand and speak our truth, when we are to remain silent and feed more and more love into the raging fears that are all over. We are in such a time of change that it is felt in such magnificent and horrifying ways. And all that is occurring, it's not a time in which we are condoning, but it is a time in which we are deciding. We are using our discernment as to know what is ours. And when it comes from a heartfelt basis, that we can stand in love and work towards peace, harmony, love, not to fight against, for that feeds the opposite of what we wish to truly occur. In this time, discerning how to manage, how to be present to ourselves, to maintain our state of peace when so many things are in chaos, upset. Remember, this is a time as well to stay in the moment. When your head projects into fear of what can happen, what is the possibility, how will it be, there is very little that you as an individual can generally do. However, you have great power to be, and you will know the difference. Otherwise, your fear, often false evidence appearing real. We say this even as we look at how we as human beings respond or react to what is occurring. And with that, we are saying to you, be aware. If your reaction is on full throttle, that your adrenaline is racing 24/7, you will be burnt out. And when the time comes for you to stand in your power, it'll be much too difficult. You'll have found the resources within you dried up. Part of the push by the power over is to keep you in that constant state of fear. So you are always reacting rather than using your full power to increase your vibration, to keep your vibration high. And much of what is occurring will not only disconnect, but it will have the potential to become something very different. And with that, to claim what is essentially where we are heading. Unconditional love, fifth dimension, peace, harmony, abundance for all. Much of what has occurred that has gotten us to this point is the constant push of someone else getting what I need, the fear of many others, when in fact there are abundant resources. And we have our guides. We said yes to be present. And those who are listening are finding that their vibration, their attunement, their knowing is drawing them closer to the vibration of this message. That it is essential in love to find our balance and to know in love how to hold that vibration. It is at times much easier to be reactive and angry, blaming and pointing fingers, when in fact it is very often necessary to hold the space that we find most difficult, and that's to be in peace. We will begin with the message of the mothers. We come, the mothers, to surround you in wave after wave of love, of peace, of a sense of harmony and wholeness within you, a renewal of your purpose. And although the swirling energies that seem to be pushed in the day-to-day of this now time, you have the ability to stand as sacred observer, to witness all that is of the loving truth, that that which is occurring, the chaos that is taking apart a variety of institutions and causing much to be in a swirl of upset, fear, a sense of losing everything, a sense of being trapped, full throttle disaster in terms of how it feels. What we wish you to know is this: you are well prepared for this time. You chose to come here so you could stand fast. You have been working diligent, many for years, allowing the preparation to take root and to establish within you a greater and greater sense of trust, a knowing who you are. For you have walked through many aspects of life that have been uncertain or filled with fear or limitation, uncertainty. And somehow you found your way. Remember those times, for they will help you find a way in your resourcefulness to be in wholeness, in harmony. You also have been schooled, so to speak, in many different forms of meditation, of grounding, being in the use of your own vibrational attunement, that of toning, opening up the heart vibration, for that allows an even greater expansion within you. You put your own Faraday cage around you in a sense, that you are able to repel that which is not needed by you, to keep within you the sacred, untouched, fed by the harmony of love. You have many powers and skills. The power within you is your own peace. When you notice that the mind is caught in some snag, some piece of fear, overwhelm, anger, upset, looking at what you consider to be such a disregard of all that you have believed in, we say to you, you are standing in the light and perceiving what seems to be of a very destructive nature. And yet, that is what is called for that which is needed to awaken the hearts of all is actively engaged. We have reached a tipping point, that of the golden ratio. We are now at 51, almost 52% of awakened hearts upon the planet. In that manner, the ratio, the equivalent push, so to speak, of radiant love, increases the ability to move forward at a much more rapid rate. Each of us have received these great inputs from the sun, from Helios, the great central sun, to allow us to move into this time and space with resources that are far greater than anything we've ever had in the past. We are not the same individuals today as we were even yesterday, let alone how many years ago, when it seemed like all that is occurring happened before. There is such a disbelief and a sense of dis-ease around this time. And yet we say to you, hold fast of your truth. You have come because we have the ability to stand in our grounded power and bring in the resources that allow the conversion of what has been set in place for so many millenniums, that it will take some time, and yet it is going so fast, to reestablish a new foundation based in love, God's unconditional love, where the harmony, peace, wholeness, abundance, the relationship that all are here in love, all are equal, all have the birthright and the gifts to be upon the earth in this magnificent time to transform what has been of the old. Yes, there is a higher intensity from time to time, especially now, when everything is being pushed at us in our experience on the day-to-day, to keep stirring the fear, hoping to grab hold. And yet, in your humanity, you might find yourself going down the rabbit hole. It becomes difficult at times for each one to maintain themselves. And yet we say to you, your guardians, guides, angels, dragons are there as your protectors, as your communicators, as your sense of wholeness, your sense of love, your co-creation. You have claimed your power and your sovereignty. You have stood in fifth dimension. You are not waiting to get into it. You are there. It is an expansion. It is not you step into fifth dimension and everything is magical. It is rather you progress and allow the energy to be absorbed within you to do the radical changes on a cellular basis. It takes some time. Not huge, not compared to where we were just a few years ago, but rather we of the mothers remind you how much has changed, how much you can in fact hold in light, that your vibrational attunements are so much greater and swiftly shift you if you are struggling. It can uplift you, and you are more keyed in to not only ask for help, but to use it. There are times when solutions present that would not have been able to progress to you because the mind would have been so busy in its upset that it blocked any of the receiving messages that would go into the heart. And now you engage in the heart more often first than ever before. We remind you how far you have come, how we see you. Sometimes the feelings get very confused. We also remind you, this is a time of self-discovery, that self-love is the basis for all that you are able to then take in. It's as though you have created the funnel, the space, the infinity aspect, the geometric piece in which to build all that is. And in that manner to feed and nurture yourself. And that expansion keeps creating more space to receive what is needed. In our free will state, we must ask. And in this now time, it is very important to use all your tools to be sure you are grounded. There's so much chaos that when you are swept away and get forgetful, get disconnected in a sense from yourself, the quickest way to come back in, toning, humming, the ability to witness, to bring yourself in your focus into your heart space. Sound is the quickest way, and it can be done in just a few hums, a few tones, in a way in which it alters how you perceive. We say this so that you may recognize how swiftly you have incorporated the ability to shift from one lower vibration to another higher vibration. You do this now in the matter sometimes of moments, seconds, where it could take days, weeks, months before. Part of this expansion is also letting go of the old beliefs. And that can be difficult when you think that your job depends on it, your life depends on it, your freedom depends on it, what you believe you need in your life. What if this happens? What if that goes away? How will I exist? We say to you, you will shift into a whole new frequency, a whole new understanding of self. And when you hold that space in greater and greater love, then in fact, you have the greatest frequency of all. You have the God connection, the you connection. You are God. You are the co-creator of your life. You are bringing together the many in this now time by in the daily life being fully who you are, and in sacred observer, staying away from the reactionary, defending, arguing, pushing, or reacting out of fear, and being able to stay in a place of inner peace. Feed and nurture yourself. Gather together with others of like mind. That is incredibly important. Find the groups that are supportive of knowing who you are, and know that as time goes on, this will in fact, after a period of difficulty, shift and change. For we are no longer talking about the change, we are in it. It is completing on many aspects into its dimensionality to move into further realms. Our very structure has changed to the crystalline model. Sometimes the physical feelings can be overwhelmed, increased tiredness, a greater sense of disorientation almost, a sense of not knowing what is coming, in the sense that we have never experienced what we are going through now, for we have claimed our sovereignty. We have said yes to our freedom. We are engaged in our power within ourselves for this divine love. There is so much more that is coming that we say to you, your angels, guides, and dragons, speak to them. Invoke their help. When solutions are needed and the ones you can think of immediately are not helping the situation, ask them for what is further and watch, observe. And you will notice things you never thought of before, events or people, things you read. In all kinds of ways you receive the assistance you need. that helps you find your way. Surrender out of the mind into the heart as you walk this in faith and trust during this magnificent time. Let joy be a focus for each day, and that may seem hard in the midst of what you see as others' suffering or your own. But joy is the connectedness to yourself. Joy allows the upliftment so you can do all that is needed now. It is not always exuberant by any means. It can be through the combination of other emotions and feelings that you might deem as more mundane or even negative. It does not matter, your judgment. But when your attention and intention for the greatest good is offered, you then bring into being all that is possible. Observe, take into account those experiences that uplift you. Use them as the stories of your experience of living in this now time of fifth dimension. There is so much, but we say to you, always are we with you. We send you roses that you may be reminded of love. We love you dearly. Peace, harmony, joy be with you.